Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Shellsource, clinical psychologist and supervisor, and I'm here with Alana Sori, clinical art therapist. And we are wanting to tell you about this fantastic interactive webinar we've got coming up that is called Creative Deepening. EFIT meets art therapy. So my supervisees tell me when they're working in emotionally focused therapy, maybe particularly in the individual model, that one of the big challenges is move to emotion assembly, working out how to assemble, deepen, organize emotion, especially for people who might be challenged around that whole concept of accessing their emotion, labeling it, sharing it with a therapist. And I am always on the lookout for new ways to help people do that better. Cue this amazing woman who I've met who has some fantastic ways to do that through her particular skill set as an art therapist. And so we've decided to collaborate on a webinar where Alana is going to show us some phenomenal art therapy interventions that you can directly insert into the EFT model to help in that experience of organizing your client's emotional world, their emotional experience, and then deepening into it with them. And so, Alana, I'm so excited that you're here with me to talk a bit about the webinar and let people know what to expect if they decide to sign up. And I have some questions for you. Is that okay?
I'm excited. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So my first question to you is, if people come along to this webinar, how will it help them in their practice? We're talking about therapists, right? Who might work with individuals, who might work with families across the lifespan, who might work with people in relationship. How will this help them?
Okay, well, uh, I think one of the beautiful things about art therapy in particular is that while we use talking as part of it sometimes, it also is another tool that kind of goes beyond words. And so what we're actually doing is inviting people into a slightly different process where they might struggle to tell you something, but then they can show you on paper. So it's kind of a parallel thing, and you're still getting at the same goal, but in a really interesting way. And so that's, I think, something that every therapist, whether you're creative or not, can add to your toolkit. I have psychologist colleagues who often I sometimes talk to them about it, and they use bits and pieces in their practice as well. So it's really something any therapist can use.
I love this. So this is a tool exchange. I'm coming into your workshop and you're giving me some new tools to take back and try out in my workshop and hopefully just make my craft better. I think that sounds amazing. So what can I actually expect? What are we going to do? If I come to this workshop, what am I going to experience?
There's going to be a little bit of information, but mostly it's going to be quite experiential, which again, this is why I'm an art therapist. It's hands-on and it's quite fun. So as well as walking away with information that you didn't know already, also we're giving people an experience, a hands-on experience where they actually get to try out the intervention that we're talking about. I think that's good because then we understand what we're asking clients to do. So it's always good to kind of know what you're asking someone to do. So we're getting people to experience it themselves and then take that away and have the confidence to use it in their practice.
Oh, that sounds really great. I like that idea too, that if I do the exercise from the point of view of the client, I get to feel into how it moves and shifts my emotional state,
Mhm.
right? And so that's real experiential learning. And you know, that's something that excites me. That sounds great. But Alana, what if I am not arty? So look, these are some of your artworks hanging up
I love
here.
that you've hung them there. I love that.
Um, you are definitely arty. I love this. This woman in particular, she really resonates with me. You are definitely arty. My husband, also a professional artist, when he saw these, went, "Oh, those are amazing. Who did those?" Like you are arty. Some of us are not arty. So
Mhm.
if I'm not arty, am I still going to be welcome in this workshop? Am I still going to get something out of it? How's it going to be for me?
I'm really glad you asked me that question because usually the first thing people say to me is, I can only do stick people if I mention what I do for my work. And I actually think that if you're not creative, this is a really great opportunity for you because what it does is if you have a go at this intervention and then you sort of learn some skills to use with clients, you're modeling for them that you don't have to have expertise in this area. You don't
Yeah.
have to be an artist to benefit from art therapy. So I think that's actually the exact type of person we want to come along to this webinar.
Excellent. I love that. And I love that you said to me before when we were chatting that the thing about art therapy is it can give people an additional doorway in to understand their own experience, but also to then find expression, of that experience. And in terms of identity reformation, being able to not just kind of organize who you are, but find a way to express it is so powerful, right? And for those clients of ours who aren't au fait with the words, don't have a way to express themselves verbally, which is often what we lean very heavily on in talk therapy, right? I can see that this could be a very beautiful way for them to find self-expression and also for them to open up a dialogue with their therapist in a new, exciting way, right?
And not only that, but they open a dialogue with what they've created as well. It's this really interesting process where you find out what it is you've come up with, and then you find out what it's doing there and what you might want to learn from it. So it's really exciting. Yeah, it's really
Alana, that is exciting. I also have to point out, if I can lift my computer and do it, let's see how I go, that you mentioned stick people. I want to point out that stick people actually figure quite prominently in your
I
profession.
draw a lot of stick people.
Yeah, there's a little stick man. I can see him. I don't know if you can see him there.
Exactly. Like,
very important
there's
job.
nothing wrong with stick people in
Nothing
artwork,
wrong
you
with
know?
Absolutely not. I have meanwhile knocked over my ring light and destroyed my whole setup here. But
My
all of
door
that
also
to
just
say-
blew open because it's windy, so that was interesting.
all of that to say, come as you are to this
That's
webinar.
it.
You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be a professional artist, but we're hoping it will empower you and equip you in a new creative way to work with your clients, and that it can be something fun and light at the end of the PD year. Top up your hours if you need to. Oh, we should mention it's going to be recorded, and the recording will be available only to people who register for the webinar for 30 days. So while we love people to come along live and have the full experience, if the time doesn't suit you, don't let that be a barrier to dipping your toes in this beautiful world of art therapy. Join us for Creative Deepening. EFIT meets art therapy. Alana, I'm excited.
Me too. Me too.
I think it's going to be awesome. All right. Thank you for chatting with me about this. And if you have any questions, folks, about this webinar, feel free to hit reply if you're seeing it in an email, or send us a comment if you're seeing it in a post, and we'll be happy to reply and let you know anything you'd like to know about what's coming. Yeah. Thanks, Alana.
Thanks, Katie.